Okay, so it's time to summarise our findings from our research investigation into a well-balanced, evidence-based argument so that you've got a good structure for a presentation. So we're working on our big question about democracy and investigating to what extent a particular country is a democracy. We've got our guiding questions. Okay. We've done our research, we've collected our sources, we've written our notes down, we've evaluated our source with OPVL. And now it's time to organise that information using the Toulmin argument model of presenting a clear claim, supporting it, challenging it, and then having a qualified claim, leading to an engaging and informative presentation. So here's an example template filled in for this topic using the sources of information that we have. Okay, all the different key points that we've noted down. Ready to go. So claim. Turkey is a democracy with a parliamentary republic form of government. It has a range of democratic systems that lead to fairness and development. So we've got our claim. Our grounds are the reasons this claim is true. So I've got 3 points here. Turkey has a modern parliamentary system through which it elects leaders. It has a constitution that limits the power. And it's an important strategic partner of many countries. Warrant. Here we have an explanation of claim and grounds where you just kind of tie it together. So Turkey's international standing and democratic systems reflect its fair and developed status. Okay, we've expressed this opinion, this debatable topic. We need some evidence now, some backing or support. And I've got 4 points here from my notes, and you can notice that I've added the source that it comes from. And this relates to my bibliography at the top. So source 1 is number 1. So the first one, source 2. The President of Turkey is elected by popular vote of the people for a 5-year term. People also vote for their local members of parliament. So we have elections, we have a limited period of power, we have transition of power that's peaceful, etc. Turkey has been a multi-party state since 1946. So here we have multiple parties, they can have alternate views, people can vote for them, etc. The country's constitution separates state and religion to ensure equal rights since 1937. Okay, so in terms of fairness for all. And finally, in 2005, the European Union began talks with Turkey about it joining the Union, reflecting its progress. So here we have that link of international standing reflecting this fairness and development as kind of evidence of it. Okay, so we've touched on international standing and democratic systems. We've got a variety of evidence. Okay, so now the counter argument, the rebuttal. Okay, so we've got a range of sources, source 7 to start with. Okay, and here we go, starting with keyword like however. In recent years, the president's power has been expanded significantly. And then specifically, last year, a controversial referendum vote was held to increase the president's powers. It was won, and there was claims of unfair election rigging or voting rigging. Okay, so the president's getting more power. There's been votes, but possibly unfair votes. Okay, number 2 from source 2. The courts and judges are not independent as the president can choose most of the judges. Okay, so then the government can sort of control what the court's decisions are. From source 3, the media and news has been harassed into following the government's line. So there's limited freedom of speech. And now the internet is being restricted. Okay. And from source 4, a number of political parties have been banned. And there are many political prisoners for people who have different ideas to the government. Including the previous elections, the leader of the opposition party being jailed. Okay, so then you need a qualifier. You need to qualify your statement. So you can go up and copy and paste your claim and bring it down to the qualified claim. Okay, and then you can see how I have updated it. I want to put it side by side. It's not whole here. Here we go. Okay. So underneath is the old one. So you can see how I've added weakening as a key adjective that changed Turkey is a democracy. Turkey is a weakening democracy. Okay. And then from government, I've got rid of this. And I've added in, which is currently consolidating power into the hands of the president. So you can see how I've qualified my claim according to the evidence of support and rebuttal. And then a conclusion to wrap it all up. Turkey has democratic systems that have led to development and fairness. However, in recent years, under the current president, there has been less freedom of speech, restricted political competition, concerns over human rights, increasing Islamification of society, and reduced independent power of the courts, media, and parliament. So we've got a well-balanced, evidence-based argument that summarises your findings. Now, the final step before evaluation is to create a presentation. So think of a hook. In your sources, have you got an interesting image or a headline or a quote? If not, can you find one? Then start with a question, either your research question or one of your guiding questions, and state and justify it. Sources. Introduce a few sources that you looked at. Could be screenshots from them and sort of explain their value and validity. Summarize your findings. Here's where you use your Toulmin argument. So I'd suggest you have 4 different slides. One, stating your claim. One, giving some key supporting evidence. One, the arguments against. And then finally, your qualified conclusion. It's always nice to finish with a further question, something for you to think about, your audience to think about, and then your bibliography. So approximately 10 slides. Toulmin argument leading to presentation.